Hey everybody, I'm just going over our week 3 announcements. And so if you'd prefer to click through the slideshow on your own, you can go ahead and access that through our announcement. But you're probably watching this because you would prefer to listen to the announcements. So I'm going to go ahead and read through our announcements here and um, in a few places explain things a little bit further. So this week is all about finding a better job. Um, before we even begin with the course announcements, I wanted to just thank you so much for your hard work so far. This course really takes off quickly in the beginning, and I just wanted to thank you for getting started right away and coming with such beautiful, positive, and gracious attitudes. It's amazing as I worked with you guys this week through email and through messaging and everything, just how what a great outlook you guys have. So thank you so much for being so positive and making this experience so great for everyone. Your bright outlooks make this experience so uplifting for me. Thank you. So on to our announcements. The first announcements are about the resume project. Now, last week we worked on the first part of the resume project. This week we're going to be working on part 2. And I wanted to make sure you knew that the resume project is divided into several parts so that we can focus on a few things at a time. And so like I said, last week was part 1, this week's part 2, and then there will be a period where you guys can edit and revise your resumes, and then the final resumes will be turned in week 7. So I want you guys to be paying attention to that as well. There's a few common student struggles that I wanted to mention here so that you can help yourself avoid those common struggles. The first is about the high impact statements. What you need to do is show, not tell, by using your achievements, outcomes, and action verbs. The next one is parallel structure. Be sure you're using a consistent structure, and that means both with tense and with formatting. Um, and with your throughout your bullet points, everything should be consistent. The formatting, make sure and keep the resume on one page and use reverse chronological order, which means that you have the most recent on top. As far as the education section goes, if you've elected to put the education section before the experience section, you must emphasize your education by including coursework and high impact statements. Now, we always recommend that whatever section you put on top, or first is the most impressive for what your employer is looking for. And then as far as conventions, make sure that you have consistent punctuation and make sure you have accurate spelling and avoid distracting grammatical errors. And then the last the last suggestion is focus on your job posting so that you can know how much or how little information to include based on what your employer is looking for. A lot of students do only have a few things and their resume is bare because they really don't feel like they're good enough or that they have enough experience or anything. And some students just pack it full of everything they've ever done in their whole life. Okay, there's a middle balance that we need to find based on that job posting. Now, I wanted to mention that the resume project has many opportunities for you to get feedback, and feedback from others is extremely important when it comes to resumes. This resume project allows for many opportunities for feedback before the final resume, once again, is turned in during week 7. Be sure to use your feedback to revise and edit as we go. I don't want you in week 7 to be panicking because you haven't made any changes from the beginning of time. Edit as you go. Take the feedback and adjust your resume as we work on it, like last week and this week, and then all the weeks coming up to week 7. So here is what you can expect from where you can expect to get feedback from. From me, I will be providing feedback I provided feedback last week on the week 2 writing practice. If you haven't seen that, check that out. I also provided feedback on the week 2 application activity for resumes part 1. Now go back in the gradebook and check that out. Make sure you see that feedback for you. This week, I'll be providing feedback on the week 3 writing practice, as well as the week 3 application activity resumes part 2. And for this last one, you can expect that feedback by the end of week 5. Now, the reasoning is because I'm going to be diving deep into your resume. I'm going to be providing as much feedback as possible so that you can really aim to have a perfect resume for that week 7 final resume. And then you can expect feedback from classmates and others, your gathering classmates, as well as any friends or family who you ask to review it. I'd suggest you have a lot of people review it. Friends, family, coworkers, people that will give you honest and helpful feedback. And then in week 7, I wanted to give you a heads up. There is you're gathering for week 6 is a peer review for the resumes. So I wanted to give you a heads up about that. Now, if you're not sure how to view your grades and feedback, there's a video on our announcement that you need to go find. It's on slide 6. So go ahead and watch that video. But basically, what you do is you click on the grades tab, and that video will show you how to access the online document, which is where you're going to be getting the most helpful feedback on your resume that you turn in this week. Now, on to the math review this week. We are continuing to do a review from last semester's materials, and so here's some tips for your success for this week. Continue to start the math review early in the week and take the quizzes as many times as you want. And that counts for the entire semester. Take them over and over and over if you need to. This week's math review includes fractions, simplifying expressions, solving for variables, and plugging in values to variable equations. And then the last suggestion is to take the quiz multiple times in order to review and fully understand the concepts. We're building a foundation here for the rest of the semester, so it's important that you guys are really understanding the materials so far. And then I wanted to give you a heads up. This week's math review is difficult. If you find that you're struggling with it, please use your resources. Now, our first line of resources is the link to the resources that it gives you when you get a question wrong on the quiz. Go ahead and review those as much as you need to. The second line of defense here is to take a look at the resources on Khan Academy. And then the third option is to use the tutoring center if you need additional support. And there is a video on the slideshow on slide 9 that shows you how to meet with a tutor. I just wanted to let you know as we finish up these announcements that I am rooting for you, and please let me know how I can help this week. Message me, email me if you need to. I'm here for you, and I love to help. And then I wanted to wrap it up with this quote from Gordon B. Hinckley. It isn't as bad as you sometimes think it is. It all works out. Don't worry. If you do your best, it will all work out. Put your trust in God and move forward with faith. Now, I know that you guys are facing challenges in this course and in life, in your jobs, in your families, in your callings, in all parts of your lives. And I wanted to remind you of that quote by Gordon B. Hinckley because I've experienced it myself. When I have put my trust in God and moved forward with faith, I am blessed from that. And I hope that you have seen that in your life as well. And I hope that you'll continue to see that as we progress throughout the course.